Hello, welcome to The Wandering Drew. I am Drew. I'd like to discuss, I'm going to try and do a brief video, and I'm going to try and keep it brief, of my upcoming trip. In the end of August, beginning of September, I'm taking a trip out to California to go hiking. I'll be hiking the mountain range in the area of Kings Canyon and the Sequoia National Park, including a climb up Mount Whitney. Mount Whitney is the tallest mountain in the continental, or the lower 48, as we say, United States. It is 14,505 feet. So it's a target that I've been looking at for a little while. I'd love to be able to do part of like some of the trails out there, like the PCT or the John Muir Trail, the Pacific Coast Trail, if you're not familiar with what PCT means. But I don't have the time. I'm still working. I don't have the time to do a long trail like that. And obviously, there's a permitting system for the JMT, or the John Muir Trail, that makes it hard sometimes to get the ability to hike when you want and where you want. So this trip will be unusual for me in that it's a guided trip. So it's a trip I'm paying for, going with a group. I'm going with a company called TSX Challenge. I'll put their website in there. The gentleman, Chris, that runs it, very, very nice. I've spoken to him several times. I've watched some of his videos. I heard him on a podcast, and it intrigued me enough that I came back and booked a trip with them over a year ago. So I've been waiting a year for this trip. I'm really looking forward to it. There are some issues that I'm worried about, but I'm looking forward to getting back on the trail and doing something that I like doing something that's new and different for me, and also hiking out west because of the mountains and the views that you generally do not get in the southeast where I've done most of my hiking. You know, I'm usually in forest and it's trees, and up there it's going to be mountains and large, expansive views. So this trip is roughly a little over like 75, 76 miles. It's 8 nights, 7 days you'll be on the trail. The first night you're really just camping at the trailhead so that you can jump off the next day. I'll be flying into Fresno, staying in a hotel there. I'm going to be picked up. The company provides all the transportation to and from the trail. They provide a lot of your gear too. If you're someone that does not have gear but wants to go hiking, instead of renting or borrowing from your friends or begging or doing whatever it is, you get it. This is a way to do it because they'll provide you with the majority of the items that you need, except for your clothes and personal stuff. But they'll provide you, if needed, a backpack, a tent, a sleeping bag, a sleeping pad. So all those major items that are large purchase items, and if you don't have them, and if you're flying, let's say you don't want to travel with them, you can easily just get them from them when you get there. They'll supply them for you. So that's another good thing about this company. You're paying for it. Also, I believe on this trip, 3 guides are coming with us. So it will be, let's say, 10 or 12. I think there's 13 people I haven't counted going on the trip, and 3 guides. So there's a nice ratio of, guides to participants or hikers that and you could be from any category of experience levels. So obviously, because it's a guided trip, if you're less experienced, this is a way for you to gain experience, but in a safe way of doing it. It's a trip that's planned out. They already know how far you're going to go every day, where the campsites are going to be. They've got the permit, so you don't have to worry about that. So it's a very easy thing. You just have to show up with some gear. A little planning would help. Obviously, some conditioning would help because it is physical. But if you're not in the greatest of shape, the days are not really long. I think the first day will probably be the worst day, and probably going up Mount Whitney because of the altitude as well. So they give you a checklist. This is their checklist that I used. And in getting ready for my trip and packing my gear, I just did a gear video. I went down their packing list, grabbed my gear, and as I mentioned in a video that I just shot, I put everything in a laundry basket, and I decide what I'm going to take with me based on that. So everything that fits in the basket, if it fits, some stuff doesn't. Here's my sleeping bag. It takes up a lot of room, and I'll repack it in its stuff sack. And then I go through this list to make sure I have everything. Once I know I have everything, I will then go through that list again, because sometimes I might have put 2 items in there. I'm not sure what shoes I want to take. So I'll go through and I'll make a final decision of what I'm going to take. Maybe clothes. I might throw, I'm going to take a long sleeve and a short sleeve shirt. Then I decide, you know what? I'm probably not going to use the short sleeve shirt because I'm going to want protection from the sun. So you know what? Let me save that weight. Or maybe I decide, you know what? I'll bring the short sleeve shirt as a backup, but I'll probably use that at night, and I'll hike in the, long sleeve shirt. So I'm going to reduce the gear that I have so that I can lighten my load, fill up my pack, and make sure I have everything covered. And I always recommend using a list, because every time you don't use a list, there's a good probability you'll leave something behind. Even with the list, you can do it, but it's less likely. And if I have something, questions or things that I still have to get, I generally write them on the back, so that these are notes for myself. So when I look in here, I know I have everything done, and it'll be crossed off as I do it. So I'm getting ready to leave. I'm leaving in 2 days, so I'm a procrastinator. I waited till the last minute, but I'm gonna pack my gear probably tonight and tomorrow for leaving the following day. And as I mentioned, this is a hike. It's about 75 plus miles, 76 miles, a lot of significant elevation change. I'll be going from low altitudes to extremely high altitudes out there. So I am worried about the altitude and my body's reaction to it. I know that for me, there will be pain involved, headaches, maybe some nausea on the first 2 days, especially because I'm going to altitudes that I'm not used to being at and staying there. You slowly begin to climb up, but there's days you're going to climb up and then come back down a little bit. But you're basically staying, anywhere from like 7,800 feet all the way up to 14,500 on the summit of Mount Whitney. But Mount Whitney is a day trip, so you'll camp at the base of Mount Whitney in the day before. That's where you'll make your camp. You'll climb up to Mount Whitney. Maybe you're up there by lunchtime or for sunrise or however they do it, however we decide as a group, and then we'll all come back down, and that's our day. The next day we'll hike out. So the good thing is you have all your gear, you have people that are there, they're gonna cook for you, they'll make sure you have water. So certain things you don't need to bring. What I liked about it is, obviously, you need a bear canister, they'll supply them, which unfortunately adds about 2.5 pounds, almost 3 pounds of weight. But all the cooking stuff, first aid stuff, fuel, anything for water purification, they bring and provide for you. I've been told in speaking with them that my pack, I should estimate 40 pounds for the first day. Obviously, as we eat and we use things up, the pack will get lighter. So I'm anticipating it to be a rough first day or two because of the weight, some of the terrain, elevation, and also I expect to be feeling the effects of the high altitude because it's unusual for me to be at that altitude. I'm hoping that it's just a headache and nothing more, but I'm going to be prepared for that. I will be bringing aspirin. My hip is feeling good. I've had some recurring issue with my hip. The last couple of weeks, I think I was overtraining. I had some anti-inflammatories that I've been taking. I'm going to take them on the trail with me, and I will take them. I generally don't take ibuprofen, but what I'm taking now is kind of similar in it. It's another NSAID, so it should work as ibuprofen would. I'll take that as needed. So I think that I'll do well. I'm looking forward to it. Like I said, I planned this trip over a year ago. Eager to get out there and get started and just see the beautiful sights to see and experience the West and the mountain ranges because they look beautiful. I decided I'm not going to take my camera, the camera that I'm shooting this video with, because of the weight. It weighs about 1.5 pounds itself. Plus then I have the batteries, microphones and things like that, even a little tripod. I'm going to shoot using my Samsung S22 phone. I think it takes very good pictures. I'm carrying it anyway. We won't have access to power for 7 days, 8 days. So I am going to bring 2 battery packs to charge that because I will be using it for video. I'll probably not edit any video while I'm on trail because it uses up too much power. I will wait till I get back. So the first videos from my trip should start appearing around mid-September. And that's really it. I'm trying to see if I left anything out. Yeah, so this is a unique trip for me because it's a guided trip. I've never done a paid trip that I go to. So obviously I will meet up with my guides and the other people in Fresno. And then we are going to drive from Fresno to the trailhead that we're going to start in on, I guess, the west coast of the mountain range, and we'll camp there overnight, and then the next morning we'll start walking east, and eventually we'll end up on the east side of the mountain range, past Mount Whitney, after we summit it, come back down, and hike out, where once again that same vehicle that we took will meet us. We will get clean, because nobody wants to be riding. It's approximately, I think, a 6-hour drive back from the mountain range to the hotel. Nobody wants to be sitting in a car with probably 14 to 15 smelly hikers for 6 hours. So we'll all get clean, get new clothes, and then head back to Fresno, where I will catch a flight the following day. So I already have a hotel room reserved for my arrival and for my departure. I'll be there a day or so early so I can get a chance to walk around, grab some last items like water. I'm not going to bring, water on a plane. There's no reason for that. I can buy a water bottle when I get there. Same thing if you're traveling and you need to bring fuel. You cannot take fuel and batteries, lithium batteries or the batteries, the power banks are not allowed to go into storage on a cargo hold on an aircraft. So if you're carrying them, you have to carry them in your carry-on luggage with you. I will do that. I'll carry a small carry-on bag and I'll have my batteries in there, some electronics, and then when I get where I'm going, I can pack everything up again. So that's it. That's my upcoming trip. I'm really looking forward to it. I'm going to plan on making videos for it. Probably do something similar to what I normally do. It's just something every day. And I hope you'll come back and follow my journey. It should be great. So thank you so much for watching. If you like what I'm doing, give me a thumbs up, give me a like. Any questions, comments, thoughts, opinions are welcome. Leave a comment below. I try to answer all of those or at least comment back to you. And if you feel like supporting me and you feel like it, feel free to subscribe to the channel or just come back and watch more. Till we meet again.